Hi, this is Tom Blodgett from Jende Industries, and today I've got a unique ceramic knife that we're going to sharpen up on the Jende JIGS using our Jende Diamond products. All right, what normally looks like a ceramic knife is you've got a bevel on one side. It's basically a single bevel knife. Here's your bevel, you can see that. But when we flip it over, it's flat. So this is basically kind of like a Yanagi or a Deba. And we're going to have to sharpen this up accordingly, where we put one angle on the bevel side here, and then we're going to have to, we can't do it flat because that's just crazy. We're going to have to put just a very slight kind of microbevel on the edge here to make it work. So on the jigs, it's going to make it very interesting because we're going to have to do a lot of adjusting, and that's where the ExacuDrive really comes in handy. So let's get to it. All right, so first I've already adjusted my clamps, and I'm putting in my blade where it's going to be basically straight across evenly. There's a slight belly in this knife, so okay. And on this side of the blade, this is the bevel side, the top side here, we're going to put it at 22. We'll start with that and see what it does. On the other side, we'll come back, and we're not going to do 22. We're going to have to do something smaller, but 22 on this because we want this side to be a little higher in general. So normally I'm doing 18 to 20, but I'm going to start with 22 to give it a little more robust. So we'll set that angle now. So angle cube, zero it out, and we're going to come to 22. Going to start with the Jende 80. Alright, so we got to drop it down. I'm running out of some space here, so I'm going to come down a little bit, or we're going to have to raise it. So, alright, raising it. Okay, 22, we're going to change it. Alright. So I've got the Diamond 80 on here, Jende Diamond Plate, 80 grit. I'm just going to get it roughed in. I know 22 is going to work because I actually checked beforehand, but 22 is where we're going to be, and we have to remove all the ink from the edge. And basically, because there are no indicators with ceramic, we're just going to have to do a bunch and see if it works. But the marker, the Sharpie on the edge, really helps at least get you started. So. Alright, so I've removed all that ink from the edge. So that's a very good sign. And instinctively, I'm feeling for a burr. There won't be a burr. The thing about ceramic, again, no indicator. So just got to make sure you get all that ink off. You may need a loop to take a look at things. So looks like I got it all off. The edge was pretty good to start, and we're just going to go over to make sure. Better just remove as much as we can and start fresh. That's why I'm going as aggressively as the 80 diamond, just to get her done. And ceramics are hard. They don't look it, but they are. Okay. And again, instinctively feeling for a burr that's not there. All right, now comes the fun part. So because, like I said, this side is the bevel side, so we're having that 22-degree angle. I'm going to flip the knife over. Check it again. We should be, if this was still on, so it'd still be 0. Good. And put it back here. What I've done also, if you notice this orange O-ring here, that I've used this as a stopper, and I actually put that here to stop A from going over the knife. So I have, the distance here won't ever really travel past the blade, but I'm also using it as, that's my position for setting the stone again. So every time I flip it over, I'm going to be here against the stopper, and then I'll check my angle. I want to make this as low as I can without going under, because again, it's supposed to mimic a single bevel. So we're going to drop this down. Let's go with 18 and see what happens. Yeah, we're getting close to the bottom of the ExacuDrive here. So what I'm going to do is drop down the macro part, drop that down, and then come back up to hit 18. And 18 might be a little high. I don't want to go too low because it'll chip out. So we have to think about the, the idea that if we go too low, it's going to be too thin. So this is a commercial knife. This is used in a restaurant, so it doesn't need to be such a laser. So yeah, let's go up to 18. There we go, 18. So let's put the marker on and see what happens. There we go. All right. So it's going to take a little bit at 18. It's too high. It's coming in here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. I'm seeing a line in front of the black. So that means I'm actually too high. So we're going to drop it down to 17. See what happens. So again, got my stopper here. I'm here. I want to remove that whole ink pile. So we'll drop it down a degree. 17 before it changes. So a different spot. Looks like I'm still a little too high. I'm still, again, I moved over a little bit here. I'm not removing that whole bevel there. So let's go a little bit lower. Try 16. All right, 16. I probably won't go much lower just because we're already high, so that's a good thing. Again, this is a kitchen knife, a commercial knife. So, okay, 16. Put a new Sharpie edge on there. That's actually just about right. It's Goldilocks in it. So I'm removing the whole bevel on that. So I might have to do a little work to get what I just did with the earlier angles, 18, 17, but 16 seems to be about right, maybe 16.5, but we'll do 16 and 22. So that's where we're going to be at. So keep that in mind. Every time we flip it over, we're going to have to do some adjusting here. But with the with the Exacti drive, it's very easy. So let's get to it now. All right, so what I've noticed here is that 16 is too low. We're not here. You can't see it now, but I wiped it off. The ink is not coming off at the tip here. It's coming off in the middle because there's that bow here. There's a little bit of a belly to this knife. So at the edges, we're not quite doing it right. So I'm going to up it to 16.5 and see what happens there. Because I don't want it too low. So better we go a little bit higher. So let's get it to 16.5. Okay, 16.5. Try it again. Mark it. So now I'm more worried about the tip here. Ooh. So we'll start right in on that tip. Okay, I can see I'm hitting the edge there. I put a really thick line there, so we're not going to get the whole thing. I don't want too much on this side because, again, no burr. We're trying to keep this side thinner. So, but we got to make sure it's established. Once we establish it, we can ease off on how much time we're going to use it on. So, but in the meantime, I want to make sure I've got that tip more and the heel. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. So what we're going to do is flip it back over, and I've removed that ink again at the edge. There's nothing really to see or feel at this point. It's just going to be rough, rough, rough. We could try a paper cutting test. All right, it's cutting it. So we've got an edge. Before, this wouldn't even cut the paper. It just was terrible. No edge at all. So we're cutting paper. That means we're on the right path. So come over the original side. We have to reset to 22. So I'm going to change out for a 120 diamond. Okay. Going to zero out just to make sure we're at 0, which we should be. Still at 0, so we're good. Up to my O-ring. And we're going to go back to 22. So we're at a little bit low. So I'm just going to use the macro adjust on all this, just because it is a 5-degree difference. 22. All right. So we'll use the Sharpie again, just to make sure. After this, we don't really need the Sharpie because we know we'll be dialed in. If we missed it by this point, then we're bad sharpeners. Alright. Immediately remove that ink. 2 strokes is gone. So we're definitely repeating that 22, which means we're getting the edge of the edge already. So now we're already refining at 120 grit. Okay, so now we're going to flip it back over and get to the 16 and a half. All right, 16.5. Ooh, too much. Yes, 16.5. Okay, again, I'll do the Sharpie just to make sure. After this, I don't think we need the Sharpie because it's official. All right. Immediately, ink's coming off. All right, so we're gonna switch out to the 300, move it back to 22 degrees. That is a little bit of a hassle because this is the way the knife is. On a regular ceramic, both sides would be the same angle. We wouldn't be adjusting this much, but this is again like Japanese style, Deba or Yanagi. So we're trying to play by the rules here on this one. So yeah. So macro it up. 22. All right. So the rest of this, we're just going to go straight through, keep flipping it around. So yeah, we'll speed this part up. After the 600, doing a paper cut test a little bit. So, you know, it'll cut, but it's definitely like, it's jagged, but we got to get through each grit. So onto it. Okay, coming off the 1200. Can definitely feel with my thumb that it wants to cut me. It's not like a metal knife yet, where clearly I wouldn't be doing this, but it's definitely, I don't feel the serrations as much, and I feel it being sharper now. There's definitely a point there. It definitely cuts paper. It's not terrible, but we're going to take it up a couple notches. All right, so we're going to hit the Jende Diamond 15 micron next. Now we're going into the medium range. The diamond plates are great, and they do put working edges. This will cut, but you know, we could do better. So the diamond resin is that mid-range from 1200 to well, 3 micron and 1 micron. So you're basically looking at 8,000 to 15,000 grit. So it's that middle range. So the heavy lifting is done by the plates, and then the refinement and working level is the resins. Coming off the 15 micron, I was checking with my thumb and it did want to slice it. So I think now's the time to, yeah, we're getting a much smoother cut. It's not as rough. And this we can stop at. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do 9 micron because it's Jende Industries. So 9 micron, and then we'll strop and be done. So coming off the 9 micron, yeah, that is definitely wanting to cut in. Very nice. And basically, it's a push cut once you get in. There you go. So very nice. I'm just going to give it a quick strop. Now, at this point, it's been okay because we've been adjusting on a large level. But when we're going to finish strop, we got to go 1, 1, 1, 1. And on ceramics, you really want to not do multiple strokes. You really want to go 1, 1, 1, 1. So the only like really pain in the butt here is that every time I flip over the blade, I really need to adjust. And so we're just going to give it a quick strop on a 1/2 micron poly diamond. I'll do 5 and then 1, 1 because we're really not going to influence much here. So, okay. Now this one we can't scrub and we can't sweep in. We'll have to pull back down. So we're going to start at the tip and slowly work back down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I just got to adjust. Okay, same thing here. I'll do 5s from the tip down. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll just do a 1, 1 here. 22. Here, just gonna do 1. And, okay, 16.5. And then 1. So cut test on that. It's basically push cutting straight in. So very nice along the whole edge. Very smooth, very sharp, no bite to it, and yeah, the edge feels like it's sharp. Cut test, ceramic, nice and smooth. Better than factory. All right, thanks for watching this video. This was not the usual ceramic knife. Again, this is more like a single bevel, but it was very interesting to do, and I'm glad you guys were watching along. So, like and subscribe and check out our other videos, and we'll see you on the next one.